JayaKumar is a poet, artist, lyricist and scriptwriter. He has written lyrics for over 80 Malayalam films and scripted 2 very successful serials for TV. He is also the author of more than a dozen books in Malayalam, including a couple of anthologies of Malayali poems. Perhaps his most famous works are Kerala, a poem in green and gold, and Seduction of the Soul. He has also translated Tagore's Gitanjali and Khalil Gibran's The Prophet and Jesus the Son of Man into Malayalam. Please welcome JayaKumar.
Distinguished fellow poets and friends. When Rati Saxena asked me to be present for this festival, she somehow asked me to read my English poems. Maybe she doesn't know that I write in Malayalam. But I didn't disappoint her because I do write in English. But essentially, I don't think I'm an English poet. I'm essentially a Malayalam poet. But I have published a couple of anthologies in English. I've translated my own works into English, apart from translating others' works to Malayalam. Tagore, for example, I have translated his Gitanjali into Malayalam, and I'm sure some of you must have seen my humble offering in painting to Tagore. 14 of Gitanjali verses I have tried to interpret visually, which is a feeble attempt at the great, a humble homage to the great artist that is Tagore himself. Having said that, I'll read 3 of my poems, In the Heart of the Sun, and 3 poems I'll read. There is poetry which are meant to sort of exhort people, which talk to people. Some poetry speak to you. But my poetry, in my assessment, is a murmur, is a whisper. I whisper to myself most of the time. This poem, the first poem I'm reading, In the Heart of the Sun, is something which could have been written only because of a particular official position I occupy. I am the secretary for the state government looking after home affairs. Home affairs means internal affairs, as they say in many countries, looking after very pleasant subjects like the police, the jail, vigilance, prosecution, and very poetical subjects like that. When I became secretary of that department 3 years ago, I saw a world which I haven't seen before. I saw a world with a very weird grammar, which shocked me. That's the only prelude to this poem, and then I'll now read this poem, In the Heart of the Sun. Mind stiffens with the knowledge of the forbidden. I've seen the mating game of hatred and pain in the darkened chambers of floodlit mansions. I've seen the mating game of hatred and pain in the darkened chambers of floodlit mansions. Selfishness adheres like a snail in meditative silence on the windowsill. Suspicion breeds unnoticed as lethal moths. In the backyard of flashy nights, guilt and death wish lie on the nail bed of self-disgust. In the backyard of flashy nights, guilt and death wish lie on the nail bed of self-disgust. I have seen multi-faced magicians emerge out of fairy tales and disappear with our innocent children. I have seen multi-faced magicians emerge out of fairy tales and disappear with our innocent children. In the strange smiles of those who shared our dinner, I could read a coded dream of a splinter. No longer can I carry the weight of this knowledge and get burnt by the flame of truth. No longer can I wait in the scorching sun with this untold sense of impotent guilt. May I repeat? No longer can I carry the weight of this knowledge and get burnt by the flame of truth. No longer can I wait in the scorching sun with this untold sense of impotent guilt. Please take back these eyes that make me see the unseen. Will the sun of knowledge ever rise on the horizon of this sickening yellow light? Will I ever awake in the heart of the sun? Thank you. It's inspired by the environmental degradation that we create every day and the silent suicide that we are taking upon ourselves every day. Look from the perspective of the rain. Stifled by silence, he is reluctant to predict. Stifled by silence, he is reluctant to predict. Though the prophet rains knows it all. Rain has seen the radiation of lethal thoughts from the earth below and its dark vulture shadow. Rain has seen the radiation of lethal thoughts from the earth below and its dark vulture shadow. From the silence of the dead ants, invisible molecules of pain and curse accumulate. Rain knows how the dark insects of anger have arisen with dirty wings from the lungs of the dying rivers of filth. Rain knows how the dark insects of anger have arisen with dirty wings from the lungs of the dying rivers of filth. It has seen how the dry breath of sapless trees transforms into lightning of vengeance. Rain knows well how evil planets are lured by the laser beam of victims' fright. Rain knows well how evil planets are lured by the laser beam of victims' fright. How the helpless screams from insane torture chambers have condensed into a meteor ready to hit the earth. Rain has seen the impending burst of pain. Rain has seen the impending burst of pain, yet the prophet is stifled by silence. For in his closed eyes, he could see only a sea of darkness. Thank you very much for